Musicality Mondays, Litty Mondays, Litty Mondays. With Jazicality Mondays, Litty Mondays, Litty Mondays. I know you were looking for something, maybe you'll find it right here, baby.
A Make Your Own Trophy Records production. Hi everyone, welcome back to Musicality Mondays. I'm your host, Jazicality. Thank you so much for listening on the podcast platforms, and thank you so much if you are watching right here on the YouTube channel. Don't forget to check out our brand new hoodies, the Musicality Mondays hoodies. The information is going to be right in the first comment down below pinned, as well as the donations for the Musicality Mondays Fund to get a new audio interface with more inputs for bands to be able to play on Musicality Mondays. Today, we have a very special guest. He is a frontman, a vocalist, a saxophonist, and just an all-around great human being. Today, we have Dante Leyva. Is that how you say it?
You said it right.
Let's go.
Nice score. Hi. Thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you.
It's a nice day to be on a yellow beanbag.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Every day's a nice day to be on a yellow beanbag.
Yeah, especially when it's cold outside.
It's so
Wait,
cold.
can I swear on this or no?
Yes.
When
Oh my god.
cold as fuck outside.
I think that's the fastest anybody's ever asked me.
Nice.
Let's fucking go, man.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Gotta get the important questions out of the way first.
It's true. That's it's a number one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So you've been on another or more podcasts. What podcasts have you been on?
I guess most recently I did an interview with the podcast called Some Kind of Fun, which is a local music or I think art scene podcast. I was on with Katie Drehas, who is a organizer with me in Twin Cities United Performers.
Okay.
So more on that later, I'm sure.
Twin Cities United Performers. Teacup. I was just like, I know what that is. So yeah, can you tell us a little bit about Teacup?
Sure, yeah. Let's jump into it. Why
like,
not?
Yeah.
Teacup is like I said, Twin Cities United Performers. We are a group of musicians that's looking to make Minnesota the best place in the world to be a musician. And to do so, we are trying to build collective power in the style of a union. Of course, musicians have a union, and it doesn't necessarily always represent musicians in the way that people who are playing bar gigs need. So we saw a need for some collective power or a vessel through which to build that power, and we're trying to do that. Yeah, I think I could have done that spiel better, but I think that's broadly what it is. I want to say once again, Teacup is trying to make Minnesota the best place in the world to be a musician. That's important.
Awesome. Yeah, just making sure that everyone gets treated fairly, right? Yeah. Next question would be... I won't do that every time.
You can if you want. I mean, it's your show.
Thank you. I'm just starting to realize that some days. I don't know, it's weird, whatever, but... So when did you get into music?
When did I get into music? I have always really liked singing, even when I was a little child. And when I was in 5th grade, I started elementary school band. Oh my goodness. Elementary school band. I started elementary school band in 5th grade at the age of 10, and I started playing the saxophone. And I think that's when I really felt like, I found something that I really like. I feel like is really cool. I was taking some lessons, and I learned about improv and jazz, and I was like, kind of blew my mind. I was like, you can make your own music,
right? Yes.
And so I would say like I would consider that 5th grade mark to be like a pretty distinct like, that's when music grabbed me in a big way.
Okay, That's really cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and obviously, like, you love both of them. Which one would you say is your true love, or are they both your true love,
I think, I think for a long time, I considered myself more of a vocalist than a saxophone player, but the time I've spent, particularly with Space Monkey Mafia, I think has it renewed my love of the saxophone in my adult life in a way that I feel like I love both of my children equally,
wow.
I guess. Yeah.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah, I don't play favorites.
I'm sorry. I do always do that. I'm just like, so which one do you like the best?
So which one? Well, which one is the best?
It's I don't know. Yeah, but wait. So I'm blanking a little bit, but like when I first saw you, I suppose you were playing both of them in Space Monkey Mafia, right?
Yes, I always have. I
Okay.
guess I joined Space Monkey Mafia in 2016 as a saxophone player, but I like to sing, so I was like, hey, I'll sing some harmonies. And then
Wow.
the guys were like, you should sing some lead on some songs. And I was like, okay. And then I did, because I love doing that. I mean, I love singing. And I love also fronting bands and jumping around and screaming. So Space Monkey Mafia is a good fit. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's something that I gravitated toward you for, because it seems like you have such great breath control and the ability to move without sounding tired at all. Like, how does that happen?
I think that it was a combo of things. I think I did marching band in high school, and I did musical theater as well. And I think those two activities really went a long way in like teaching me how to sing, play, and move all at the same time. And then also just, I think, practice, playing with Space Monkey Mafia, which is a ska band based out of the Twin Cities of Minnesota. For those of you who don't know, Space Monkey Mafia is one of the bands that I'm in. But playing with that band, especially in the first couple of years, we would go and we'd do like these weekend runs where we're playing like 3 shows a week out of town, and we really kind of like were in these divey bars, drinking a lot of beer, jumping on stages and speakers and things. And I feel like I got an opportunity to practice jumping and singing and not running out of breath in the middle of a song kind of thing. But I do think that the theater and marching band background help.
Okay.
I also have thought about this. I can't tell you exactly if it's true. I don't know about the science behind it or whatever, but I do wonder at times if like the saxophone playing helps with breath control in some way, because playing a woodwind instrument inherently requires you to have control over your breath. Like that's what the instrument is about. I also played the bassoon throughout high school, so I think I got a lot of practice with different styles of breath control, and all of that translated pretty well into like a very active style of pop singing. And yeah, I think those are my thoughts on that.
Do you ever do circular breathing, or is that like a rarity? Or
I've tried it. In high school, especially, me and another saxophone player were like really into the idea of practicing circular breathing, and I never got there. He definitely did, though. He was on that Kenny G shit. It was really wild. It's good if you play the didgeridoo. I think it's cool for some like flashy saxophone technique stuff. And I've heard from some horn players that there are actually some really useful applications of circular breathing, but I've never quite gotten there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting concept. I'm like, I'm gonna try to do that.
I guess I was about to try to do it, but I realized it didn't make for very good podcasting. So.
No, it's fine. ASMR, whatever.
That's all I can push. I can push the air out with my cheeks while I inhale with my nose.
Oh yes, that's what it is. I don't know.
But then it's like doing that in tandem with like also make like after you inhale, you got to start exhaling again. There's a lot of mechanics. It's
I can't even fathom. But later on.
Yeah, audience, go home tonight and try to circular breathe. That's your homework.
Oxygen.
Let us know how it goes.
Hydrogen.
Jazicality Music
water.
Mondays.
That's true.
In the comments, tell us if you can circular breathe.
Oh yeah, tell us. That's a really interesting fact. And then I'll have you on the show to show us how you do that.
Yeah, that would be cool. I would come back for that.
Yay, you're always welcome back.
Whoa, sweet.
Whoa.
That's cool. I've never been a friend of a show before.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Today you have become a friend of the show.
Wow.
You're awesome, man.
Oh, I'm having fun.
Good.
Yeah.
And I do want to tell you this. Like, you're one of my heroes on stage. Like, you make me feel like better about being a musician, and you inspire me to be better.
Wow, that is so sweet.
Yay!
Thanks, Jasmine. Dang.
Absolutely, yes.
That's so cool. I that is like all I can ever hope for as I perform is to be inspiring. I feel like performance is about like taking people's attention and energy and like blasting it back at them in the way that you choose to do so. And my favorite or preferred method of doing so is like a mutual admiration and excitement. Like if we can like get like a admiration feedback loop going, that makes, I think, for some of my favorite like performance moments. So hearing that was really cool. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Love to do that.
Nice.
So how many bands are you in?
How many bands am I in?
'Cause there's a lot.
Okay, so Space Monkey Mafia, I would say, is the one that keeps me the most busy. That's what I always tell people. And then I'm going on tour with Runaway Ricochet.
It's true.
Yes, January 15th to 27th. We're going all over the map, really.
Oh, yeah.
Texas, New Orleans, Memphis, among other places. So Runaway Ricochet. I've also the go-to saxophone player in the Von Tramps.
Okay.
And so that's 3 ska bands.
Well, there you go.
And then there's Mild Manner, which is not a ska band. It's like a indie funk,
kind of
Radioheady, poppy.
Yeah, it's like
band.
a mixture.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
And I would say is like the band that I've actually been in the longest. I joined that one
2014.
2014, the first Mild Manner song. Nice. Wow. That's
Thank you.
real only the real Mild Manner heads know that one. And I think I'm also like, I would say those 4 bands are like the ones that I'm in.
Okay.
But the thing about being a saxophone player is that you can just kind of float around and be a like ancillary member of many bands. That's what I found, at least, or the way that I've really enjoyed doing it, because it's like, especially if you like to jam, people say, hey, come play saxophone. And more often than not, they don't have like oh, you got to play this specific part and I've got sheet music and everything. They're just like, come rip a solo on this moment. And so I found myself as the like satellite saxophone player in a lot of projects, like Anita Velveeta, Highlight.
Yes.
There's more that I know I'm blanking on, but I'll just shout them out in the middle of the show as they come to me.
As you like.
That one. Alien Book Club, R.I.P. But that was a fun one. Yeah. So I guess to answer your question, 4.
4. Okay.
4.
Yeah. Yeah, because when I was looking on your Instagram, because I knew of like, Space Monkey, Runaway Ricochet, and then I thought Highlight, and then but like as you say, like the jamming and stuff. You guys were like really awesome. I saw you twice, and I was like, this is amazing. Oh yeah,
dude, Highlight is so much fun.
So much fun.
I would say they are a hidden gem of the Twin Cities music scene. Yeah, and talk about just like, that rhythm section keeps it tight. I especially love playing with, shouts out Jason, the bass player. He just creates a beautifully open pocket that I can like just dance around in as an improviser. It's very fun.
Wow.
And then Ryan's really fun to like play off of too.
Oh yeah.
On stage. And recently, Blake has been playing guitar with them and Caitlin has been singing.
Okay.
So Highlight is like quickly becoming like they've always been part of the Space Monkey Mafia extended family from my perspective, but we're sharing members, we're merging tribes, as it were.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because like for me, like on the outside looking in, I thought you guys were like a band. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Because I just like go and I'm just like, oh yeah, they're tight. Like,
it is. I feel like that's something that happens a lot in the scene. Is like people like intermingle with bands. They swap members out, and like especially bands that are part of the same, I don't know, social circle, as it were, or part of the same like sub scene within the broader scene. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, you end up just you cycle in and out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. And like, so as far as like tours go, do you have any advice for people like me who want to plan a tour? Like, how do you do it? Like, how do you go about it?
I'm gonna be tragically honest and say that I've toured a lot, and I've been really lucky to do so. And I've also never planned a tour myself.
That's okay.
I've always relied on the blood, sweat, and tears of my much more hardworking and well-connected bandmates to put these tours together. I like to think that I could do it if I needed to, but I've never actually done it. So I'm gonna see if I can like I'm gonna pretend to be Joe Barron right
Yes,
now. I'm
okay,
like,
I
I'm
was
gonna,
guess. Okay,
yeah.
yep.
I'm making a tour.
Shout out to you, Joe.
Shouts out to you, Joe Barron. I love you so much.
Me too.
It's mostly about sending out a lot of messages and a lot of emails and preparing to get a lot of cold or like a lot of rejection or no response.
Okay.
And then what Space Monkey Mafia likes to do in particular is like have one or two shows that we know, like, oh, we got homies out in this city, or there's like a festival or an event, so we know at least one of these shows is going to pop off, and like maybe try to build a route around that, like look at the cities, look at who you know. Space Monkey Mafia, like I mentioned earlier, spent a lot of our early years, like 2016 through really up to the pandemic, doing these like concentric circle style like weekend tours, and so we got to like grow our network, make a lot of friends in the Midwest, and then use that as like a jumping off point to get to other bigger cities, like I don't know, Denver or Portland or something like that, you know. And it's not the strategy that everyone takes because it is very time intensive and requires literally like years of touring, and sometimes you play some pretty bad shows. But the upside for me that I have seen from that strategy is that we like have made some really like close friends, like some like lifelong homies in other states that are always just going to be like the band BFFs. You know, I'm thinking about Desperate Electric out in Montana.
Oh my God, yeah.
Love those guys. We met them doing one of those tours where we were like, let's get out to Montana and come back home. And we connected with this couple, Ben and Katie, who turned out to be just like the coolest people and the best musicians that we've ever met.
Yeah.
So I feel like that strategy kind of differs in the way that bands often or maybe currently are encouraged or incentivized to operate, where it's like build a base on the internet, like to put out your content on the different platforms, feed the algorithm, find people that want to hear your music, and then after you have an audience that you can demonstrate through Spotify plays and you know, social media metrics, like then you go out and you tour to where they are at. And that's probably smart. Like that probably saves money and time in the long run. But the adventure, you know, you lose out on some of the like, I don't know, playing busted dive bars in the middle of nowhere, and like I don't know. Each band is going to do it differently. I'm glad that Space Monkey Mafia took the journey that we did because it ended up working out in a really cool way for us. I wouldn't change it again. But also, I'm 30 years old now, and I probably wouldn't sleep on a beach again on a grimy tour. So, you know, maybe it's a do it while you're young kind of thing. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love the honesty that you just said of just like sometimes, you know, you might have bad shows, but like it's worth it all in the end, you know.
Yeah, I do feel that is the case. Like big picture, each show is part of the bigger piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
That's not to say that there's not shows that I wish I didn't play, I suppose, but there's also like at the end, there's a big picture to it.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that puzzle piece that you just put in my eyes, because, you know, it gets hard sometimes, even just like staying where you are. So you might as well travel and see what's out there. Yeah.
I think that's something that people, I mean, it's easy for me to say as someone who like travels a lot and also doesn't do a lot of the booking, right? But like, I think that, but I do think that people kind of discount the value that comes from like even going out like an hour out of town and playing somewhere, you know, like Rochester if you're in Minnesota, or Duluth. It's like a fun way to like expand your audience in a new market. You're not gonna like saturate your shows by like going out and playing there.
Yeah.
And you see what how they do it in other places. I think the obstacle for that, I think primarily is just meeting people and knowing who to reach out to for shows. Duluth, I don't got anyone, but if you want to play a show in Rochester, Tree Dome Records, that's the spot.
Oh my gosh, no, yeah, it's a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
I played a show with you there.
We did.
It was really fun.
That was such a blast. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Even though my band wasn't with me, no, for real. Thank you for
believing
in me.
You had to do you went acoustic and you crushed it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, that was a really great time.
That was one of my favorite shows ever.
Wow. I got to be a part of one of your favorite shows ever.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
You're like up here on my list of people like I want to be like. So I'm sorry not to like just keep kissing your ass, but whatever.
That's very sweet. I don't necessarily know always how to process or to take a compliment, but I do really appreciate that, Jasmine. That's cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel you on that. Like sometimes people give me a compliment and I'm just like, oh my god, thanks.
Yeah.
And I'll just like walk away.
Yeah, but also, at least for me, like, I'll take that and I'm gonna, like, you know, I'll go to bed at night and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm loved kind of thing.
Yay!
Yeah.
And it's true. Oh, also, my parents are big fans of YouTube.
I love, every time I see your parents out at shows, we have just, like, some very pleasant interactions. It's so fun to see them out supporting. Yeah.
Shout out my parents.
Shout out Jasmine's parents. Why don't I feel like I didn't do my teacup plug justice at the top of the show. I was still kind of getting my bearings.
Absolutely.
So let me try that one again. Teacup strives to make Minnesota the best place in the world to be a musician, Twin Cities United Performers. And we're doing so right now, building power. The first way that we're doing that, we actually just kicked off what we're calling a Performer Power Pledge Agreement. The idea is that we would like to create a unified show advance template, like a PDF that you send out to venues, and it asks for all the details that you need to run a smooth show, and stuff like payment details, when they're going to pay you, how they're going to calculate that, the gear situation, is there a green room?
Yeah.
By doing so, and if we can get, our goal right now is to get 500 musicians to sign on to agree with us to use this unified language in the advance. Not only does it empower us as artists to like have this document that helps us literally negotiate with venues in a way that maybe we didn't feel empowered to before, because you look at just the list of some of these things and you're like, oh yeah, I didn't think to ask for that if you're newer to booking, or if maybe you're established and you didn't think about it. But also, if we are all starting to reach out and use the same kind of language, it creates a new standard in the industry. Like, eventually, in theory, a booker will just have all this information kind of at the ready if everyone keeps asking for it, right?
That's true.
Or if they don't, then they're going to be known as the person who doesn't have their stuff together. And I think my, like, bigger picture brain is also, like, this is our first step in, because... To go back to the thing I said at the very beginning of the show, we can't unionize as like gigging musicians at a bar. We're not paid in a W-2.
Yeah.
By W-2, we're not like, we don't have like, we can't strike or collectively bargain in the same way that like the W-2 employees can. So this is how we build power, is with collective language, with unified language, with solidarity with each other, saying we are all going to agree to ask, at the very least, ask how much you're getting paid when we play a show, right? Like,
right.
And from there, that's like the very base level building block. We can make bigger asks. I would love to see, for example, like Minnesota funding live music, like just like a fund that like pays out bands for every time they play a show in town, because that would help not only the bands but the struggling bars who are like really having a difficult time covering costs. You know, I'm gonna stop there. I think if you want to learn more, check out Teacup, Twin Cities United Performers. I'm not here as an official Teacup representative, but I do love talking about this stuff. So if you see me out and about, hit me up about it. Look up Teacup. Come plug in with us, because I think it's really cool, and I have not seen organizing done in this particular way before. It's very inspiring. We got a good crew. So Teacup, Minnesota, the best place to be a musician in the world.
Wow. I really like those ideas, you know? It's like, because like at the end of the day, like you think about like your day job and just like what you would rather be doing. This is personally me. Like I'm at my day job and like I love it or whatever. It's boring, but like you think, well, I'm doing other things all day too, just like that have to do with music. And like if we get venues and other people that have to do with our careers to take it more seriously, then maybe we can make that our full-time job like sooner and stuff like that. Just holding people accountable.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that like the sentiment that you expressed is a commonly held one. It's just like, if this could be our full-time job, it would be. Yeah. But it is very much not possible to do that right now with the way that the current music industry exists, you know? And I think it's always kind of been like that, in that, like, you know, certain artists get blasted up to the top and get to make a living, and then a lot of people are like scraping around at the bottom. But it feels like in the last 20, 30 years, with the advent of streaming in particular, it's gotten really scrappy. It's gotten really like gotten really lean. Yeah. So I think for me, I'm like, it's time to look at other ways to other models of funding the arts. Like there's plenty of nonprofits out there who are trying to write arts grants. Like let's get some of the barriers out of the way for that. Like you shouldn't have to have a bachelor's level degree to write an essay to get funded, like or like the countries that in Europe fund the arts through like much more direct public taxpayer funding. That's the whole thing. But yeah, to your point, just that like if as a society we think music is valuable, we've got to value it some way. And like the current capitalist like market forces have decommodified it completely. They've told us that a stream of a song is like 0.003 cents or whatever, right? Like
that is just so disturbing and like a
that shit
slap in the
pisses me
face.
off. That shit
Like-
pisses me off.
Like for real, I'm just like, I mean, and I was asking another guest about like, with all of the disasters going on in the world, do you think that music could like help? And then I started second guessing myself, and I'm just thinking, no, really, like if we took music more seriously, with the impact it has emotionally, like could it help more people if we took it more seriously? I don't know.
I like that idea, like beyond the love and light, like music can heal the world thing, because I do think
Exactly. Thank you.
I do agree with that concept too. Like I think that music is a vehicle through which like ideas that are complicated but meaningful can be communicated in a way that other art forms just can't. Like music is unique in that way, from my perspective. But I also think that like if we were to choose as a society to value music and to like fund it and like to put our money literally where our mouth is and fund it, like it could open the door for like alternative models for other things too. Like if this works, why couldn't it work for something else?
Right.
And like maybe that's one of the domino pieces that like helps us, get us out of the like horrible capitalist negative feedback loop that's literally burning our world alive.
Literally.
Yeah.
Because I think of things and just, I don't know. Exactly. Thank you for having this conversation with me.
Yeah. I didn't expect to get here, but here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
But yeah, just, there's definitely something missing as far as like communication when it comes to like, society.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say it like that. But yeah, I don't know. There's something missing. There's a disconnect that we just need to break through. But like, I think this kind of brings us, since music is kind of a language, let's talk about your interpreter.
Oh yeah,
position.
so yes, my day job, which I do have one, like many of us do. My day job is that I'm a medical interpreter. I speak Spanish. I learned Spanish and English growing up, and I go to people's doctor's appointments when they don't speak English and they only speak Spanish, and I interpret for them and for the staff that are treating them.
Wow.
That's currently what I do. It's a cool job. It's unique in that I feel like it uses, like, you have to be bilingual to do it. I also have discovered through this job, I've been doing it like 4 years now, compared to other professions that exist in the medical field, it is wildly, let's say, underregulated. I don't think I'm like telling anything that is inaccurate or shouldn't be said, but like I have a 4-year degree, I guess, not in interpreting, in plant science, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my gosh.
that's a tangent
Well.
for another day. But I was, I took like a online ethics class about interpreting, and then I signed up with an agency, and they just kind of dropped me in, and like first week I was like in an operating room, like scrubbed up, like talking to a patient who was getting some corneas put into his eyes, and it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I won't get too graphic.
Oh yeah.
But
I
mean, modern medicine is crazy cool, and
Yeah.
I, as someone with no medical background, I was like, how did I get here just speaking Spanish?
That's
you know,
insane. That's amazing.
It's cool. I really like it. I like it keeps me engaged.
Yeah.
I like a job that I feel like I'm helping people. I feel like it's very, strike similar chords to music for me in that
Really?
like I show up, I do my job, and then someone is like, good job, you did a good job. And then I leave. Yeah. It's also performance. It's like I have to perform other people's words and thoughts like in a different language. But whereas when I'm on stage performing original music or covers, I'm like trying to get as much attention as I can.
Okay.
As an interpreter, I'm actually trying to be as inobtrusive or wallflowery as possible. Like in a perfect world, I wouldn't be there. So I am performing other people's thoughts and action or words and like trying not to insert any of my own like
Oh my gosh.
self into it.
My mom used to be an interpreter, but for sign language, and I've heard that kind of thing of just like, hey, I don't think that sounds right, but I have to do it. I have to tell you. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, yeah,
It's
that
crazy.
I don't like it when people say things that I don't want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. So, but like in a situation where they're panicking, do you say it in the way that they're panicking? Like, do you mirror the emotion, or do you just say it kind of?
I do try to mirror the emotion. Not like you want to be careful because you don't want to like make someone feel like you're like mocking them. You know, you don't want to go overboard with it and like someone's like, because that, especially if someone's feeling altered or upset, it's going to make it worse. And usually like emotion is universal. You don't need to be speaking the same language to know that someone's pissed off, right? So like I won't, if someone yells, I'm not going to like match their volume, but I might like use a more angry tone, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's a really like good parallel between like music and like, you know,
Yeah, it's
performing, like you said.
it's fun. I mean, I did a lot of acting in high school, so I got
wow.
to like kind of stretch the theater background again a
There
little
you
bit
go.
in that way. Yeah,
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something else. Okay.
that's all I got. I can ask you questions.
Oh, okay. I mean, I have more, but like,
Did you make
yes,
this?
I did, and I forgot the S.
Musicality Monday.
One singular Monday in time.
It's every Monday though.
That's true.
Yeah, time
That's
is
true.
a bunch of Mondays.
See, and that's what I was going
Garfield
back and forth
hates
about. Garfield?
He hates.
Never seen that before.
Oh really? You've never read Garfield either?
No.
Okay, the big beats. Garfield hates Mondays.
Oh, okay.
Garfield loves lasagna.
I love lasagna.
And Garfield loves to torment his owner, John.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm explaining Garfield to you right now.
I mean, okay, so I don't know. Someone in my family hated it. So when I was growing up, I took on my family's emotions, and I still do, like with my mom, because I don't know. But so I hated Garfield.
You were like, in this house, we do not stand Garfield. That's
don't know.
really funny.
I know, it's just such a... I do that, like, subconsciously, like, with minuscule things, and I'm just like, why didn't I watch that? And, like, give it a chance.
I feel like I did that, especially with my dad's opinions on some things. Music. I think I grew out of this, but early on in my, like, appreciation of music, I would, like, if my dad was like, oh, that song is, they're screaming too loud. I was like, oh, yeah, they're screaming too loud.
Totally, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to this Queen. I'm gonna bump the sticks.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
But I mean, I'm gonna be honest. You're not missing much with Garfield. I feel like it is like a pretty.
Yeah.
It's like the same. If you read the comic strip, it's no Calvin and Hobbes. I'll tell you that much. It's like kind of just the same joke, told over and over again in different ways.
Okay.
Yeah. Garfield. Musicality Monday.
Musicality Monday. Have you ever seen Rush Hour or Rush Hour 3 or 2?
I feel like my roommates, I think, were recently watching one of the Rush Hour movies, so I like kind of by osmosis absorbed some of it, but I couldn't tell you any of the like beats or anything.
I was watching Rush Hour 3 yesterday with Sam, and like it's my favorite of the 3-piece. And there's this part in the movie. It happens relatively quickly, actually. And like there's this part where he's just like, "Who are you?" And then the man is like, "I am you," because that's his name, because he's Chinese, I believe. And then the man goes like, "No, who are you?" And he's like, "I am you." And then there's another guy that goes like, "Me." And then he's just like, "What are you talking about?" "I am me." "No, I am me and you are you, and like it's hilarious, and it's like who's on first, and it's just like amazing.
Oh, I was just thinking that it's the who's on first of 80s Chinese jokes.
Yes, and it was hilarious. I'm just like this is, and I've been watching that movie since probably like it came out. But I can't remember, like maybe 2008. I'm just like it never gets old.
Dang. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go home and maybe roll up a joint and watch some Rush
Literally.
Hour. That sounds like a good time.
I don't smoke, but I get it.
Nice.
Because, and I'll tell you why. I've only told a couple of people this because
really?
it's absolutely hilarious.
Whoa.
So, I got my wisdom teeth taken out last year, I think. But they started hurting really bad, like the year before I got them taken out. And I would be hanging out with people who were smoking weed, and then every time I'd be around them, secondhand smoke really helped me out. Yeah.
Did you like get dry socket through secondhand smoke?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. So like the teeth were still in, and I would just like, take in that smoke and just be good to go.
Oh, you got like a secondhand
I don't smoke. Yeah.
buzz. Like it kind of numbed some of the pain for you. Wow.
I'm just like, you guys can smoke. Don't worry about it.
Holy shit. So after that experience, you were like, that's all I need? Like,
yeah.
Regular weed would be too much if just a secondhand high is getting me this.
100%.
This zoinked.
Yeah. Like,
Wow.
it really just mellowed me out. And I was just like, I was so grateful for it. I'm just like, thanks, guys. See you later.
That's like, I feel like speaks to you and your own inner process of like having that experience that sounds like it was overall positive.
Oh, it was, yes.
But you're like, I'm good with that.
Oh,
I don't need to go any deeper into this world.
Just because I feel like it'll affect my voice negatively. So.
Oh, that's a good point. Has it done anything to your voice? Has it done anything to my voice? It's certainly not like in the way that's like if I were smoking a lot of cigarettes, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because you really, when you smoke weed, like you do smoke and you cough, it hurts your throat sometimes. But it's not like the amount of particles that you're blasting up the old voice box, I feel like is significantly less.
Yeah.
I don't like to like go and perform high anymore because it's too stressful. I feel like this is something that a lot of my friends who used to smoke a lot of weed in their 20s or younger like have noted that like the anxiety gets like weed makes you more stressed out later in life. I don't know.
Yeah.
My relationship with weed is it goes up and down. Sometimes I'm like this shit's making me too scared, and sometimes I'm like I want to watch
or something.
Rush Hour.
What?
Yeah.
What? Oh, while you're watching Rush Hour.
That's what I'm saying. Those are the two like that's the spectrum of weed for me. I'm either gonna be
Okay.
paranoid or I'm gonna want to watch Rush Hour.
That's fucking hilarious. Okay. Imagine Jackie Chan just like comes through the screen. You're just like, I'm done.
That's it.
I'm good.
That's it. See ya. Setting it down. But yeah, I don't know if it's affected my voice. I went and looked back on old videos of me singing when I was like 22, and I definitely was worse than I am now. So
That's good.
that made me feel very good. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I've improved. But I think that's a technique thing. I don't know if that's a smoking thing.
How long have you been smoking?
Oh, the year was 2013.
Oh my god.
I was in the back of a minivan
Oh my god, I was gonna say
in
minivan.
Bloomington, Indiana.
Oh my god.
The friends of my girlfriend at the time who went to IU Bloomington put on I'll Follow You Into the Dark, and I smoked my first joint, and I remember like the Death Cab for Cutie wafting over me. I'm like looking up at the Indiana stars, and I'm like, I get why they call it stoned. I felt so. I remember that first time I felt like the effects of gravity were so remarkably intense. And I'm like, I'm heavy. I'm so heavy right now.
That sounds scary. I feel like I would start to feel like I'm suffocating.
I really enjoyed it. I really had a great time with that.
Or it's like a weighted blanket. Is it like
yes.
that? Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, looking back now, I had a lot of undiagnosed like mental health issues going on, and the idea of like I will just turn my brain off and become a very heavy rock in this car in Indiana listening to Death Cab for Cutie sounded really nice at the time.
You know what?
Yeah.
I get it. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, sometimes life is too much, and it's just like, you know what? It's legal. It wasn't that, but like it's legal now. So.
Yeah, and I will say, you know, good news for me is that as I've gone improving my mental health, I find less of a desire to escape with,
Yeah,
weed.
that's good.
Yeah,
Congratulations to you.
thanks. I think my relationship with weed is pretty good. Working on the alcohol one. That one could still use some work, but
Kudos to you.
thanks. Yeah.
Shut
Someone's
up.
knocking. Knock, knock, knock.
Do you have another question for me?
Do I have another question for you? Wow, I'm put on the spot now. I should have another question for you.
No,
Okay.
you're fine.
How many episodes of Musicality Mondays have you done?
Technically, well, you mean that I released or that I've filmed?
I guess that you've filmed.
Okay,
You have like some unreleased content,
I do.
some Disney Vault stuff.
Yes. I interviewed Mason on Friday, and then I interviewed Jordan Johnston on Sunday.
Oh, nice. Cool. So you got a
So-
backlog.
I do, thank God.
Yeah. you gotta batch your content.
I did have to skip this week, though. It just got to be too much. I had to rest. I like went out with friends and stuff, and I'm just
Mm.
like, I need to sleep.
Yeah.
But
Good on you.
thank you.
But how
Um,
many? So what's the total? Then?
Yeah, it's I think you're the 20th episode.
Whoa.
Yeah. Wait, let me make sure. Hold on.
Big 2-0.
Yes. So this is the season finale of Musicality
This
Mondays.
is the season finale.
So
Should we
yeah.
end on a cliffhanger?
Oh my God! Like what?
I'm pregnant.
Oh my God! Stop! I love you.
Music.
I'm pregnant. He said it.
Cut
not
to
me.
black. Cut to black.
Cut to black. Oh my God! I'm doing that in the edit. I was like,
That would be a really funny way to end it.
that would. Yeah. We just stopped. No, I'm kidding.
All right, see ya. You
Bye.
gotta tune in next season to find out what happens.
Do you know what's gonna happen on the first episode of the season 3 that I'm not gonna put on here, but I'll tell you?
Mm-hmm.
Guess. No, I'm kidding.
Wait, what's gonna happen? Wait, but then it's not a cliffhanger. We can't tell them.
Wait, no, I'm not telling them. I'm telling you.
Oh, great.
Because
What's a question that you wish people would ask you on this show?
Oh my God, you're so sweet. But nobody's ever asked me.
Yes,
this before.
nice.
That one. And then
Points.
I wish they would ask me how long I've been doing YouTube, something like that.
How long have you been doing YouTube?
You're like, I'm gonna make you interview you. I've been doing it for 7 years technically.
Wow.
But like technically 9 years. Because I was doing it when I was in high school.
Okay.
And then I really got into it after McNally closed, and I was just like lock in,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. It's cool to like have kept up with something for that long. I would imagine you've seen like a lot of change in the platform itself
Oh, yeah.
over 9 years.
Yeah. Do you remember that it didn't used to have shorts and stuff?
Yeah,
'Cause,
totally.
like it's hard to like see it in my head, but I remember like those weren't a thing. It was just like regular YouTube
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah, there was only one kind of video.
I miss that time.
Yeah, honestly, I do too. I miss before YouTube was like the scary thing that would like radicalize your little cousin.
Oh my God, what?
Oh,
like
the
yeah.
the you watch a Mr. Beast video and then suggest
Oh.
you like something that's like one shade more towards the alt-right and
Oh my
one shade
God.
more and more and more, and then all of a sudden your little cousin's telling you about all kinds of crazy shit. I don't
What
know.
happened?
We don't have to get into that at all. I want to like tell me about your like
Tell me about you.
tell me about you. 9 years of YouTube. Any highlights? Any lowlights?
A highlight was sadly like, well, hold on, let me see. Actually, it's a high-low light
High
because
lowlight.
it was during 2020, the
Mhm.
pandemic, and I was furloughed, and I had a lot of time to get in here. So I did like skits and stuff, and I was a merch weather woman,
What?
and I rapped about my phone not letting my face open the phone. And
That sounds awesome. Are these still?
oh
Can I
yeah,
find
they're
these?
so, absolutely.
Dude, forget rush hour. I'm going home and finding these.
Thank you. Oh my God! And I used to dress up as characters that I made.
Really? You had like a whole you had characters?
I did, yeah.
Do you still like in like an improv way?
Yes, absolutely.
I love improv comedy. Do you want to like
Thank
do
you.
some? Should we riff? Do you want to do
Okay.
a character?
Okay, sure.
Okay. All right. Hang on.
I'm scared.
I'm kind of scared too, but I think this could
This
be
is
cool.
your idea.
This is my idea.
This
No,
is
we got this.
crazy.
We got this. You all right. Do you have a character in mind that you're gonna do?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
You hit me with that character. Give me like a little intro, and I'll make up a character to play off of them.
Okay.
Hello, I am Manny. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Maddie. My name is Nestor. My name is Nestor, and it's really good to run into you at this bus stop. It's the middle of the night, and it's pouring rain. It's kind of like My Neighbor Totoro, except you're not Totoro. You seem to be a very short and thin man in a trench coat.
Yeah, I actually got this back at 73rd on Holland back in Chicago.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is
it
it-
was, yeah.
Is it meaningful to you? Because you really cut quite a striking figure in the middle of the night in a trench coat. I was almost intimidated by you, and then you spoke to me, and I was like, oh, I don't think this person could enact violence on me.
I was with my mother, and she said, "Hey, Manny, that will look good on you." So I had to get it.
Wow. That's quite a story, Manny.
Yeah. My mother, she smoked a lot of cigarettes. A lot of cigarettes.
A lot of cigarettes.
And she said, "Hey, Manny, you gotta get a new coat because I've been with you since last Thursday, and you smell like me, and I don't want that for you."
Manny, that's tough. You're going through a coat a week at that rate. Have you ever considered telling your mother to maybe smoke outside?
She can't do that. She likes to eat lettuce, so.
Okay. Is your mother a garden snail?
On Thursdays.
On Thursday, she's a garden snail. Every
but not
other
this
day,
week.
but not this Thursday, because of the cigarettes and the trench coat.
Yeah.
Hey, God, I'm losing my. I'm sorry. I'm very congested. I don't normally speak like this. My name is Nestor again. To remind you, we're at a bus stop.
Oh yeah. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from. Where am I? I'm blanking because of a traumatic brain injury I experienced many years ago, but I believe that I'm originally from Montana. I'm from Butte, Montana.
Oh, I've never been there. Do you, what does it smell like?
It smells like the toxic lake that sits in Butte, Montana. There's a lake with the pH of Coca-Cola in Butte, Montana. It seeps into all of the groundwater, and it renders the whole area uninhabitable. So I had to leave Butte, Montana, because in the 90s, the toxic lake seeped into our groundwater, and my mother, she was making her famous iced tea, and all of a sudden that iced tea started fizzling, and this is horrible to say to a stranger at a bus stop, but it melted her alive, Manny. It melted her alive.
Did she have a trench coat?
She did not have a trench coat, but I wonder if she did, that she'd still be here with us today. And scene!
Oh my god! That's fun. Oh my god! Yay! Thank you for that idea.
That's awesome.
This is a first on Musicality Mondays.
Cool. Nice improv. That
Yes.
was
Thank you, you too.
yeah.
I really took a breath. I was just like nervous at first. I'm just like, oh no, we're doing this.
Yeah, we're in it. We're in the scene. we committed to the bit.
That was awesome.
That was great. I really enjoy. I listen to a ton of improv comedy podcasts.
Really?
There's one particular one called Comedy Bang Bang. Have you ever heard it?
No.
Big fan. Yeah. Shouts out to Comedy Bang Bang. It's a very famous podcast, I guess. They don't need my plug, but
No, they
it's,
need your plug. Come on.
when I was in college, plant science, I was working at a
Oh,
soybean
yes.
lab. The show's been going for like 15 years at this point. So
Oh my God.
even when I was in college, 8 years ago now, God, 9 years
As
ago
long as I've been in
now?
Minnesota, kind of. No, literally.
The passage of time. But I
Yes.
worked at a soybean lab. I was like, we would infect soybeans with a fungus and have to measure the rot in the stems. And it was just like really dreary, like cutting open soybeans and measuring them. And so I listened to pretty much all of the Comedy Bang Bang archives at that time. And I got really into improv.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is so funny. I love when it gets like all the way off of like,
We've fully derailed.
yes, and it's incredible. I think that's where the most fun things happen sometimes.
where the improv comedy happens.
That was hilarious. Thank you for bringing that into the space.
Literally anytime. If you ever have me back, we're gonna do more. We should do more improv.
Oh, absolutely. We started off that
Yeah,
way.
yeah. That's
Throw
a
people off.
great move.
Oh, yeah.
So, do you have anything that you'd like to leave the audience with today?
Yeah, I guess check out Space Monkey Mafia. Check out Runaway Ricochet on tour. Check out Mild Manner. We put out an album 2 years ago. Well, a year and a half ago, we'll say. A little over a year ago. Mild Manner. Check out the Von Tramps. Check out Teacup, especially if you're a performer or a musician in the Twin Cities. Come to a meeting. Message us on Instagram. I that's all I got. Donate to mutual aid. There's like a lot of shit. Yeah. There's a lot of in particular, I'm very incensed by the bulldozing of like houseless encampments of people trying to like just live on the street in difficult conditions. Shelters aren't for everyone, and they're kind of tough sometimes to be in, especially if you're compromised maybe. So some people want to live on the street. It's not ideal. We should just house them, but like in the interim, we shouldn't bulldoze fucking tent cities. We should instead help people get the supplies and the help they need. So check out the Sanctuary Supply Depot in Minneapolis, Autonomous Yurt Union. There's others. Just go out and like help someone around you. Do you see give $5 to someone who's asking for money on the street? If you can, if you want. That's all I got. Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, it's great. No, I love who you are, and I love that you say things like that on stage too. It's like real things, and then you bring them to people's attention, and I really appreciate how real you are on and off the stage. And I'm not laughing, but like I am. Like it's just hilarious that you're just anyway, but yes, thank you so much for being who you are.
Thanks for being who you are. You brought a very fun, welcoming, and wholesome energy, and it was fun to sit down on your yellow bean bags and riff with you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Dante, for being on the show. Make sure that you go check out Dante on Instagram
at Dantissimo.
That's right.
With like an underscore in between the T and the I.
I'm going to have it on the
if
bottom
you look
of
up
the
Dante
screen.
Leyva, you'll find it. Yeah.
It's true. And also go look up all of the bands that he is in. I'm going to try to say them. Space Monkey Mafia, Mild Manner, Runaway Ricochet, and the Von Tramps.
Nailed it.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
Ending how we started. Getting things done. Let's go.
Woo!
And make sure you go check out everything that he mentioned as well. And thank you so much for watching Musicality Mondays. We will see you in the next one. Peace.
Bye.
Musicality Mondays, Liddy Mondays, Liddy Mondays. With Jazicality Mondays, Liddy Mondays.